Hey, yo, what's the deal? That's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? As of this recording right now, it is 6:25 p.m. But the upload time is 11:30 p.m. Now, I mean, August 11, 2025. And let's get into the second big story of the day. And that is UFC's monster deal with Paramount. Their monster $7.78 billion deal with Paramount. And how that is definitely going to fuck up AEW's potential TV deal down the road. Now, as announced today, TKO had announced that the UFC will be going to CBS, right? And they'll be on for 7 years. 7 years. Matter let me take a drink. Hold on. For 7 years, right? For a whopping $7.78 billion, which also puts them, on the Paramount network, which used to be Spike TV, which is weird because I think a year and a half or 2 years ago, they basically got rid of professional wrestling and MMA. But now I guess that, they needed that because I guess they seen that, the ratings were not great. I mean, they were not great without those sports, without those. And remember, Bellator was on Paramount. So, they got a big deal. And I had a feeling this was going to happen too because, ESPN has the PFL. You know what I mean? The Professional Fighting League. But this is a big thing. I'm going to tell you why. And how the fuck this affects AEW. So, TKO is already spread it in the big networks when it comes down to content, right? Look at WWE. WWE has deals with NBC Universal, right? For SmackDown and the Saturday Night's Main Event, right? They have a deal with Disney to put their shows on ESPN in terms of PLEs and such. They have a deal with the CW for NXT. And now TKO has a deal, for UFC, right? All under the same umbrella, which basically fucks up any chances for Tony Khan to even get a TV deal for AEW. This is going to be very tricky for All Elite Wrestling because what they did was they basically squeezed themselves out the market in terms of a potential future home. You know what I mean? So imagine this, right? Hold on real quick. Imagine Warner Bros. Discovery, right? Getting or imagine AEW trying to rework their deal with Warner Bros. Discovery, right? And Warner Bros. Discovery sees the ratings. And now, especially where Warner Bros. Discovery is split into two different companies now, the global networks and, the streaming service. Now what's going to happen is, they could potentially, give AEW a lesser deal. And I have a feeling Tony Khan is going to play very fucking delusional when it comes down to getting a TV deal. Oh, he don't want this, so he's going to walk. What TKO did was they basically closed any sort of gap for any potential chance of AEW getting a potential TV deal down the road, right? And I know someone's going to say, well, what about Fox? What about Fox? There's nothing there with Fox. Remember, there was talks of a deal between AEW and Fox, and nothing came into fruition. Nothing came. You know what I'm saying? So, if you think that AEW has a chance to spread out into getting a TV deal, you are sadly fucking mistaken. And I also thought about something else too. With all these things happening, WWE has AAA, right? They have, they're working with TNA. I would not be shocked if we see, first and foremost, I would not be shocked if we see AAA, on one of these networks. It could be on Paramount, it could be, and mind you, Paramount is not, CBS Paramount has the Paramount network. They also own BET, which is not the same. I don't fuck with BET no more. BET sucks now. You know what I mean? BET has not been the same since the 2000s. Matter of fact, a little bit more further, since the 90s. MTV, they own, there's Nickelodeon, they still own, a lot of properties. And, where you're going to put AEW in, right? And also, definitely not ABC. Oh, definitely not ABC. I mean, shit. Disney. You know what I mean? And definitely not NBC. Because think about this, right? If you think that AEW is going to go to one of these, stations for a TV deal, right? Man, TKO is going to be all over the fucking advertisements, boy, for WWE. And that is going to piss off Tony Khan. I don't know what the fuck happens with AEW after this. I don't. I really don't. Tony Khan squeezed himself into a corner. He really, really did. You know what I mean? The only way that AEW is going to survive is they're going to have to take what thing gives them. Whatever they give him, he's going to have no choice but to take it. Why? Because if you think that these networks are going to want to talk to AEW with TKO all over the place, you are sadly mistaken. Without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know what happens, man. I honest to God do not know what happens with AEW, but man, they need to definitely be worried. And oh yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna say something about Amazon, and Apple and stuff. Let's cut the bullshit. All right, let's cut the bullshit. All right, AEW is not even a blip in their radar. It's not shit. I'll do you one better, right? These motherfuckers are better off. Amazon and Apple, they're better off, getting arena football as opposed to fucking AEW. And who knows? TKO might be very, very, very petty by negotiating a deal for the Professional Bull Riders Association. They own that. TKO owns that. They own the Professional Bull Riders Association. They own that. You know what I mean? They could fuck around and give them a big TV deal. I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked. I honest to God would not be shocked. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people bullshitting in the comments. Let them. Because deep down inside, you know what I'm saying, they're hurt. A lot of these sickos are hurt. They're hurt because they know that this could realistically could be the death knell of AEW. It could. Now I mean, the death knell, in the company. Now I mean, to the grave. Now I mean, I can't wait to see what these sickos say. I'm about to be out. You know what I mean? I definitely will be coming with a video tomorrow. And I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.